Hey, it's RKA, and this is another episode of Awkward Marketing. Wow, I'm feeling super lonely today without my top 5 awkward marketers. Where are they at? Oh, and my mom says, by the way, thank you for having her. She had a great time hosting the show last week. But now you're left with little old me, RKA. Can't spell awkward without RKA. And this is another episode of Awkward Marketing. Today I want to dive in. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you, all right? I wasn't going to do today's show because I'm a little wiped out from Halloween. But I just got back from a summit this weekend in Denver, the U Summit from the UGURUS community, surrounded by other people in my industry, and I was super inspired. And so I've been simmering on this topic, and it was like a half an hour ago. I'm sitting on my couch, and I'm like, I really feel like I got to get up there. I have something to say. So, I laid on a little bit of dry shampoo, slapped on some lipstick, and said, let's do this. So here I am, and let's get awkward. So I was inspired this weekend. I was inspired by the summit that I was at and kind of thinking about this topic of thought leadership. I work with so many people that, they are service providers, one-on-one service providers, and they are the best at what they do. They've been doing it for years. They've served hundreds or thousands of people. They know that their work isn't just good, it is impeccable, right? And yet, they're kind of getting burned out. They've reached the ceiling of what they can do. I mean, does this sound familiar? You're a service provider, you're working one-on-one with people, and you reach a ceiling of how much work you can do one-on-one. And it's exhausting. You're always chasing clients, and you have to show up and give it your all each and every session or every time you're working with someone. So they've reached this place, and they've got stuff that they've learned over the years, right? If you're a service provider and you've been doing this for years and you're rocking at it, you probably have all this insight and wisdom that you've grown over the years. And, it's really gratifying to share that one-on-one with your clients, but now you're kind of like, hey, I have something to say to the wider world out there. I want to be taken seriously. And actually, I'm kind of talking about myself here. It was a while ago I was talking to one of my mentors about this, and I was saying, darn it! I want my place at the table. I've been doing this long enough. I know what I have to say. I have things to share, not just one-on-one with my clients, but with a greater audience. I have things to share in my industry. I want to be taken seriously. I want my place at the table. And you know what she said to me, which was it's just like a total game changer. And it's totally changed my perspective. And that's what I'm talking to you about today. She said, stop waiting for somebody to give you a seat at the table. Build your own table. Oh my gosh, mic drop, am I right? Stop waiting for someone else to give you a seat at the table. You have to build your own table, or at the very least, build your own chair. And so that's what I kind of want to share with you today. This is going to be short and sweet, all about thought leadership. I can see a bunch of you there. Megan, hey, Nicole, Michelle. Love you guys. So happy to see you. It's this idea of if you are a one-on-one service provider and you're serving your audience and you're like, you know what, it's time for me to be taken seriously in my industry. It's time for me to go one-to-many. It's time for me to be treated like a thought leader. Then this is it. Funny, Dave says it sounds like Jen B. You know what? Jen Buzza, one of the mentors for UGURUS, she is just full of wisdom. But this one wasn't from her. This one actually came from my mentor, Raven Robinson, who's not part of the U program, but what I was inspired by, so, going back to the conference this weekend, was something that Brad Martineau from SixthDivision said. And he said something to the extent of, you are the talent in your business, not the help. And so if you want to be, here's what it all comes down to. If you want to become a thought leader, if you want to be kind of taken seriously, you want to reach many people instead of just one-on-one, take the next step in your industry, get taken seriously, you're going to have to, 1, build your own damn table. Stop waiting for somebody else to invite you. Build your own seat. And 2, remember, you are the talent, not the help. And you need to treat yourself that way. So what does this mean? How do you do that? I see a lot of people, a lot of my clients, they're moving into the speaking industry. So they're just kind of waiting for enough of those referrals, or, somebody's going to say something nice about them to go around that they're going to be invited to speak. Maybe they slap up a page on their website, speaker. I'm a speaker. Here's what I can speak about. And then they kind of just sit back and they wait to get invited, right? Or, I've got clients who maybe they write a book. They write a really great book and they put it out there and, they either self-publish or they get published and then they kind of, again, sit back and wait to be noticed, wait to get those interviews, wait to get that media, wait to be invited on podcasts. And, that's one way you could do it. But here's what it means to build your own table. You're looking for a place at the table. Here's what it means to build your own table. This is what everybody's talking about when they talk about content. It's not enough to slap up a speaker page on your website and wait to get invited because somebody said something nice about you. It's not enough to write a book and hope that it gets noticed and that it gets read. What it takes to become a thought leader is to radically shift your business model, radically shift your schedule so that you can make enough time and space for yourself to be creating next level content on a regular basis. And I can see some cringes. I can't see you, but I can feel the cringes right now. Lisa says, I'm too patient for that. I know you're kidding. I know you're kidding because that's what the client says, right? That's what, when I bring this to a client, they're like, all right, I'm ready to be a thought leader. I'm ready to be taken seriously. I'm ready to get invited. I'm ready, and I share with them, all right, let's talk about how you can sustainably build creating next level content into your business model on a regular basis. This isn't writing a blog once every few months and hoping it gets picked up. This is making it a key part of your weekly ritual to be getting your ideas out there over and over again in new and unique ways. Whether that means video, check out awkwardmarketing.com. Whether that means blogging, whether that means getting in front, whether it means creating a podcast. And it's not just enough to get in front of to sit down at your computer and, start writing a blog. I'm talking about next level content. I'm talking about taking your best ideas and not saving them for the book, not saving them for that keynote that you hope someone hires you for, but getting them in front of your audience over and over and over again. And as I said, not waiting for someone else to treat you like the expert, not waiting for somebody else to say, hey, I found you and I saw you and I think you're doing a really great job. Will you come in front of my audience? You've got to build the table. You've got to pull up the seat and say, hey, I'm worth paying attention to. And it's not enough to just write that on your website. It's not enough to just put that in your bio or your business card and say, Rachael Kay Albers, speaker. Hope they see that in me. Hope they hire me. Hope they bring me on board. No. You got to do it, and you got to do it again and again. And this is the challenge I see so many people facing, is that they're so terrified to shift their business model into that direction. Because they're used to, in so many cases, the one-to-one model. So they're used to hustling so hard, one-to-one to one-to-one. And to take 10, 20, or more hours out of their schedule every single week to craft next-level content is terrifying. Because it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight that this content of yours is going to get you a seat at Oprah's Super Soul Sunday. You know what I'm saying? And so that is what I would say. There's no two ways around it. You've got to create next level, groundbreaking content on a regular basis and shift your business model to make time for that. And this is where the other part of my advice, the Brad Martineau of SixthDivision inspired wisdom came from, is you remembering that you are the talent, not the help. So in the shift of the business model towards more content creation, towards, really taking time to get into your zone of genius and create content on a regular basis, this also means you're going to need more people supporting you on some of those kind of front-end client service activities. So a lot of service providers that I work with, they're the ones setting their own appointments. They're the ones figuring out their schedule. They're the ones going back and forth with the client about, could you send in your questionnaire? Could you get me this information? Did you do your upfront homework? Did you, whatever it might be? And so that's where so much of their time and their energy is going. And not to mention that, remember, the idea, and this is what Brad was really honing in on this weekend, of being the talent and not the help, means that if you are there, present throughout the entire experience, from the, hey, let's schedule an appointment email, to the, checking in to see if you got your questionnaire, and then to the actual implementation of the work you do, whether like me, you're a designer, or you're a copywriter, or you're a coach, or you're a therapist, or you're whatever, you're a yoga teacher, whatever it might be, if you're there and present throughout the whole experience, you're diluting the impact when you actually go in there to implement and do amazing high-level stuff with your clients one-on-one. right? Or if you're doing a workshop with people, or if you're doing a group program, you're diluting that. And you're diluting the perceived value of your time. And really what you're doing is you're sending a message back to yourself, I'm not really that, I'm just going to do this all. I'm not really that special. I'm not worth being taken seriously. I'm not a leader in my industry. I'm the person scheduling the appointments. So this shift in business model means, yes, shifting towards taking more time every single week. Guess what? This is the long game. This isn't a diet that you're going to do for a little while and then go back to, whatever you were doing before. This is a lifestyle shift. This is a business model shift. Shift towards creating amazing content on a regular basis. And the second part of the shift is then bringing on other people to support you so that when you are doing the implementation, whether it's the one-on-one or it's the bigger keynote speaking, group leadership, workshop type stuff, you're coming in and as soon as you're in there, it is special to see you. And you're not creating that value when you're the one being like, hey, can we set up an appointment for 12 p.m.? Or what about 1? Does that work for you? No. That's the whole idea about being the talent and not the help. That when you come in and you're ready to implement and you're ready to change some lives, it's like, woo! And Dave's here. Oh, Dave's here to kick my butt. Dave's here to save the day, whatever. And Lisa said, okay, I'm too impatient to wait to be picked. Exactly. I crank out too much content to just keep waiting. Lisa Robin Young is an amazing example of this. I mean, she's already a leader in her space. And she helps creative business owners. And I mean, she is a content production machine. She is prolific. So you're a living example of what I'm talking about, Lisa, because you didn't wait for somebody else to say, hey, Lisa's a leader. You were like, I'm a leader. I'm stepping up and I'm going to show you week after week, day after day by creating content that gets you into my world so you know what's going on in Lisa's head. How do I know if you're a thought leader if I don't know what your thoughts are? Well, over the years, and this is years that Lisa's been doing this, I've been watching Lisa's leadership, reading Lisa's leadership, listening to Lisa's leadership, and she hasn't given away all of her secrets, but she has consistently created a table for herself and sat there and said, hey, I'm not just telling you a leader, I am, and I'm showing you with the amazing content that I'm creating over and over again, making your life better every single time you have an impact with me. I'm not just saying, hire me, please, I'm great. I am showing you, and I am transforming your life even before you make any sort of a commitment towards working with me. Dave says, committing to oneself with a content calendar, 4 weeks, 4 topics, boom. I love it. And Lisa says, yes, my book has taken a long time to write out soon. Oh my gosh, I've gotten a little peek, guys, at this book, and it's good. It is good. So Lisa's been writing her book for spent 2 years building the platform to support the book launch, already speaking about the topics. That's what it's all about. So when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, if you are a service provider, you're doing amazing work with your people. You're doing not just good work, you're doing impeccable work. And you're ready to kind of take the stage in your industry. You're ready to be taken seriously on a bigger level. You're ready to reach many people. It's not about waiting for someone to give you that chance. It's about giving yourself that chance. And that's why regular content creation, high level, groundbreaking, change up what's going on in your industry, that is the key. So I know for many of you that is bad news. You're like, but can I just not do that? Yeah, you can not do that, and you can not go anywhere either. And finally, along with building your own place at the table or building your own table, you also want to remember you are the talent, not the help. So you want to create a business model that supports when you come in and you're doing the work, whether it's one-on-one work or it's a bigger group work or you're reaching one-to-many, that impact is greater when you've got other people supporting you so that you're not doing the little tiny tasks, because then you're robbing yourself of that time to create amazing content, of that time to actually build your platform of leadership. That's all I got to say, folks. Thank you for being with me. I'll be there, I'll be here, I'll be everywhere. Next Wednesday, 11 a.m. Central, Awkward Marketing. Until then, stay awkward.